Welcome back to Grade 7 Geography, Unit Number 1, Physical Patterns in a Changing World. This is Lesson Number 9. How are we affecting natural vegetation? How do changing vegetation patterns affect species? Over time, humans have made massive changes to natural vegetation regions. Scientists estimate that humans have changed as more than half of Earth's surface to some extent. As we learned earlier, human activities are changing the climate. These climate changes are also causing changes in vegetation patterns around the world. For example, rising temperatures are causing plant species to migrate to areas where they can survive. Some species are moving to areas that used to be cold, for example, mountains, because those areas now offer warmer temperatures. Unfortunately, the plant species that already lived in these areas now have to compete with the newly moved species for food and space. Desertification is a change from fertile land into desert. Desertification can be caused by climate change. It can also be caused by poor farming methods and overuse of the soil. 1 billion people are living in desertified areas. They now face famine as they cannot grow crops where they live. Desertification also leads to the death of plant and animal species. Over thousands of years, humans have turned about 1/3 of the Earth's surface that is covered by natural vegetation into farmland. In the last 5,000 years alone, humans have destroyed over 18 million square kilometers of Earth's forests. The clearing of a forest from an area is known as deforestation. Forests are being destroyed at a rate where they cannot regrow in our lifetime. These changes are drastically changing the natural vegetation in former forest regions and the lives of the species who call these forests their homes. Humans have also been burning grasslands for tens of thousands of years. People would set fire to grasslands in order to encourage new growth for their animals to eat. Sheep and goats destroyed many native plants by pulling out their roots. As a result, grasslands are one of the most threatened habitats worldwide. As some people change or remove natural vegetation, a growing number of people are encouraging the preservation of natural vegetation through ecotourism. The goal of ecotourism is to teach people about the beauty of the natural environment and how to protect it. Ecotourism is a popular activity in Costa Rica, South Africa, and Australia. Ecotourism is also a newer source of employment for people who live in these areas. And if you know any of our high school students, maybe in grades 10 or 11, you can ask them if they went on a March break trip to Costa Rica, and they can tell you about their experiences there. I'm certain that ecotourism was a big part of that March break trip. In most cases, changes to vegetation regions have been made on purpose. People have made numerous changes to vegetation regions in order to improve their lives. Sometimes, however, the changes are unintentional. In any event, we need to be aware that any changes can have harmful effects on people, wildlife, and in some cases, the global environment. One negative consequence of vegetation regions being changed is a loss of biodiversity. Biodiversity means the variety of life on Earth. In any ecosystem, there is a natural interaction and mutual dependence between plants and animals and the environment. If we change the vegetation of an ecosystem too quickly, the plants and animals living there will not be able to survive. Before long, certain species could become extinct, that means entirely lost, or endangered, in other words, at risk of becoming extinct. Habitat loss can happen before or at the same time as a loss of biodiversity. Forests, grasslands, and even deserts are home to many plant and animal species. By destroying grasslands and forests to create new cities, we also destroy the natural habitats of many species. Losing habitats also results in species becoming extinct. A loss of species is nothing to laugh about. Sadly, destroying natural habitats is not the only activity that leads to species becoming extinct. Poaching and hunting have caused the rate of extinction to grow faster than ever before. Since 1970, many animal species have become extinct. Today, there are an estimated 16,000 plant and animal species on the edge of extinction. 1/4 of all plant and animal species may be endangered by 2050. Changes in vegetation regions have also led to a rise in non-native plant species. Non-native species are species that were born in one environment and moved to another environment. In some cases, this is purely accidental. However, there have been many cases in which humans have intentionally moved plant species to different regions. This results in non-native species competing with native species for food, nutrients, and living space. The native species are threatened with death and extinction. Even worse, there are what are called invasive species. These are non-native species that cause harm to the environment and native species. So look at this diagram you see several different species of fish. And if you just think that, let's choose these bottom two fish right here. We'll say that they're the native species. They've always been living in this area, but then over time, all these other species of fish have come in. Well, now, the species that have been here all along are going to face a lack of food. They may even be threatened physically by other species of fish. And so the species that have been there since the beginning are sadly most likely the species that are going to die first. Okay, so we're at the recap activity for this video. So when I finish speaking, you're going to put the video on pause so that you can try out this uh, missing words activity. If you don't feel confident in completing this activity right now, it means you need to go back and watch this video at least another 2 times. But then when you're ready, you'll put the video on pause, write down your answers so that we take them up in tomorrow's class. So please put the video on pause now, and we'll see how well you did with this activity in tomorrow's class. But until then, this concludes today's video.